Hi, Kathy here from kathyskutekreations. Today is week 2 of Nothing Sweeter. This is the paper that you should have downloaded. It's got 2 sheets to it. So we have hugs and kisses this week. I got my talker up here ready. There you go. And then if you want to make sure that you have the correct fabric down there, go ahead and pull this sheet out right here, which will show you week 2 and what you need to have. Hopefully that's not too blurry. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and we're gonna get started, and we're only gonna make 2 blocks of each, so we'll have a total of 4 blocks when we're completed. And I'll show you my fabric down here. There it is, just sitting on the design board, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with doing our half square triangles first. So I've got some of them separated, so we have the big hearts and the dusty rose. I don't know why I said dusty rose, the light rose color. We have the little hearts and the white. We have the light with the rose and the white. And then we have the big hearts with the white. So group them up. And then we're going to sew all the way around a 1/4 inch. And then we're going to cut them diagonally. So let's do that now. The first time that you have sewn this block, remember now you want to do a 1/4 inch from the seam. I put 1 pin in just to hold the squares together. This is the 6.5 inch squares. And if you've been following my channel, then you know already that we have made this hugs and kisses before. Now, if you're new and you are, when it comes to pivoting on this corner, just don't take your needle out, leave it in, turn it, and see if that's your 1/4 inch. If it's not, turn it back, give it 1 more. Check it, see, oops, my dog's stepping on my foot here with the pedal. And then 1 more until you got it at a 1/4 inch. If you're worried that you don't have it, you can just go straight off your fabric, just like that. Go ahead and cut it and turn it and go again, because it's not going to affect that your 2 stitches went over each other. And then just start going again. I know that a lot of people do that also. I'm just going to go ahead and chain stitch all these. I was going to watch that movie. Thank you for the person who said Knives Out was the first movie from the, I'm trying to think of the name, from The Onion. Well, apparently, and it's on, I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, I think Netflix. Well, apparently, I'd have to buy it to watch it, so I'm just going to wait till it comes out free, or I'm not going to buy a movie. There's just way too many other ones to watch, and I'm still watching that Veronica Mars episodes. And I hate to say it, I'm falling asleep during some of them too, so I'll have to rewatch some of them. There we go. And then we'll just go ahead, and when you've gone around all 4, you can turn around and just go with the very next one and do the same thing. Okay, so go ahead and do all of your squares. We're going to come back, and then I'm going to show you the ruler that I'm going to use to go ahead and cut mine apart, and I'll show you how easy it is. Okay, so whoops, my camera's. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut it this way. This is diagonally. Turn around. I'm going to spin it and do the same thing again. Every one of these squares we just did. Then we're going to open them up. Whoops. I didn't press hard enough on any of them. Okay, we're going to open them all up. We're going to iron them. We get done ironing them, we will square them up. This is where you're going to get your block lock tool out, or your regular ruler, which I'm going to use my regular ruler. All right, let's do that. All right, we're going to cut each square down to 2 3/4. So that's what we're looking at. And I take the least amount off. Put your strip, if you've never done this before, put the strip on your ruler straight down the line of your seam, which I seem to be having a hard time doing. There we go. And then take that off, which is the minimum. And then I'm rotating it. And then I want to make sure I said the right number. And we're trimming it to 2 3/4, which is almost 3. So my mark is right here for the 2 3/4, which seems like a lot, but that's what it's saying. Our block is only going to be 9.5 by 9.5. Okay. I guess I need to be trimming a little bit more off instead of the least amount. I'm so used to having more block. So here is 2 3/4. There we go, a little bitty thing. All right, go ahead and cut all of yours. Okay, so when you lay it down, it looks like this. I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking there's something wrong with it. No. That's the way the setup is. All right, and it's 2 blocks, so let's just go ahead and sew them together. Now you want to be careful because this is on the bias and you don't want these little pieces to be stretching. Just take your time, slow and easy does it. And you've got to be nestling your corners. So you're going to be, depending on how you ironed it, you'll have to re-iron it before or after. I'm just taking my time. Oop, that doesn't want to go underneath there. Okay. Let's just put it on there. There we go. Now I'm just doing the top row first. So all I did was I sewed the first 2, the second 2, and now I'm going to cut them apart and I'm going to take a look at them and make sure they're correct based on my last piece, my other piece that's over there. And they're wrong. Right off the bat, I did it wrong. And I didn't do it wrong. After I took it all out, I realized I had done it right. You can always tell by your stitches, whatever they were. And so when I went to put it back together, it's like, well, this is the same way I had it. I had it laying down there on the table wrong. And that's what I was looking at. Okay, so now I've put the 2 sets together. So I'm going to go ahead, well, it didn't catch. Oh, my bobbin thread is off a hair. All right, let's see here. Because I can see it laying in there. Sew that again. Okay. Let's do that again. Now it has little stitches all the way through it. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to iron this before I do the next row. I'm just doing a row at a time. Pin this end. Okay. We're going to put that down so y'all can see it. There we go. Take that out. Alrighty, go ahead and continue with your second row, your third, your fourth, and then we will put the rows together. And you can either do them all chain stitching and do each row, and then after you've got the square ready to go, you can turn around and do the next one, or you can do the 2. I've stacked them up into 2s because it's going to be 2 blocks, so I'm just going to do 2 at a time is what I'm going to do. So when I get done with row 1, I'll have 2 sets for row 1, And then I'll have 2 sets for row 2 and 3 and 4, and then it'll end up being 8. I'll have 8 things sitting there so I can just combine all my rows. Alrighty, so this is what it looks like now until we sew all these rows together. So we're going to sew each row, and like I said, I've got them stacked on top of each other so you can see. So when I get done, I'll have both of these blocks done. So go ahead and attach them. Make sure that you're paying attention to where you need to be nestling them so that they lay correctly and you don't lose any of your tips or anything. All right, so when you've got it all together, there's your block. That's what it looks like. Note it has a pinwheel here in the middle, in case any of you didn't see that. And I have them both done. So there they are. And now we're going to start on the next page, which is... All right, so which one is it, guys? Is it the hug or the kisses? What's the circle? The hug is what I call it. It's where they wrap the hands, the arms around you. So I call this, the X's the kisses, and the circle's the hug. So we're going to start our circle. Okay, so you're going to mark your square. Put your ruler down the middle, mark a 1/4 inch to the right and the left. We're going to put it on top of our square, right sides together now. And I always pin mine once. You don't need to pin it if you don't want to. You can clip it if you want to do that. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Might not be able to. Nope, okay. There we go. Yowza, yowza, yowza. Okay. And then we're going to take it over here to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew on each line, and then we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to have 2 half-square triangles. And we're going to have a total of 8 because we have 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll become 8 when we get done. So let's do that first. Here we go. I'll tell you what, for as many times that little girl has stepped on my pedal, thank goodness she doesn't weigh enough to start making my machine go. Now Dewey, he's a different problem because if he steps on it, it's going to start sewing. She's a lightweight. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain stitch all of these. One right after the other. Just take your time. You know, and if y'all don't have a marker, you can use a pencil because you're not going to see this. Not underneath on your quilt, you're not. A light colored pencil. You won't even see that. That's what I used in the very beginning when I first started sewing, was a pencil. I even used a number 2 pencil. It wasn't even really that dark. And I had one of those school rulers, the 12-inch rulers. Yep, and a pair of black-handled scissors. I think they were called Swiss scissors, but I'm not positive. Alright, go ahead and do the other side, and then we're going to cut them up, and we're going to make them into half-square triangles, and then we'll see what size we have to square them up. Here it is laid out before it is sewn, and it's doubled so that it'll make 2 at the same time. So we're just going to put them together, and you don't need to worry about any kind of tips, marking, or anything like that. I'm going to do each row, so let's just do that. So we have the 3 rows sewn together by now, and now we're going to put the 3 rows together. Right, there's our hug block. I hope everybody did theirs. Here's the other one. I got them both done. So I'm going to put them both out here on the table. Okay, there we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go ahead and leave a comment below. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And I'm going to see you next week on the Monday the 30th, which will be the tail end of January. It's going to go fast. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.